every week I have a lunch with a group of guys. There are 5 men in this group, and 4 did it right, 1 didn't, and that's me. Now, they managed to put their retirements together and do extremely well, and they're in the million plus range. I didn't do it well, but I do own my vehicles and my equipment. And what I do to make it is that I do estate liquidations. But more importantly, I spend a lot of time working with guys that are struggling with all kinds of issues. And I had to go through that as well. And so I spent 9 years with men, walking with them and helping them to get on the right track. Now, that's a challenge in itself because when I look at me, it's hard for me to do the same thing that I'm doing for them, for myself. But I have done a lot of things in my life. I managed to scale 2 large companies and yet still have no retirement. Now, I'm not asking anybody to feel sorry for me because I made this bet, but I do want to share it with you because there are these videos that are out there of guys that are going into retirement age. They're getting out of their jobs and they don't have good financial planning put in place. They didn't set themselves up. So I want to tell you a little bit about how I got there. And the first night I ever had a computer, which was in my 30s, I spent 2 years building a database of in a market that I managed to dominate. And the investment bankers ended up finding me and helped me to create a real company. Now, that company grew fairly fast, and it grew to a place where I was in unfamiliar territory. So I decided to get out. And I had an option to keep a piece or get out all the way. And I decided that I wanted to get out all the way. There were some nudges to keep some of it. They weren't that loud, and I should have kept some of it, but I didn't. I wanted a clean break. And my idea is that I could do it again. And so, like I said, that company is still going strong today. It's doing extremely well, and I don't own any part of it. As a matter of fact, I don't even really think about it that much because it's been so long ago. But if I had kept a little piece of it, I would have had my retirement in place, and I let that go. The second major deal was a vision that I saw immediately. And when we were 3 years in, we were doing well. We were way past where the first one was. It was growing, and we had a big vision. This one was going to blow it out of the marketplace. We were dominating. We had taken over an industry, and yeah, it was definitely on track. But then I ended up getting a verbal offer for the company about 6 months before it came apart. Now, I had no idea what was coming. I didn't see it, and nobody else saw it, but it was there. And you had the opportunity to take the exit and take a little bit of a sliver like I did on the first one. And ironically, if I would have took the exit, it would have protected me and it would have saved me. But I was convinced. I was fully convinced that we were doing the right thing. But then disaster struck, and it came down very fast. There were issues coming from all over the place, and it was a struggle because I took it very hard. 2 things I saw before anyone else did, and I let them both go. Now, I got a lot of advice, and advice came from somebody who had started a $1 billion company, Bob Parsons, and he had 16 rules, and one of them was measure everything. And I was actually visiting with him one day, and he gave me that advice personally. And then he gave me some other advice. We were talking about doing AdWords, and I was sharing with him what I was spending on AdWords, and he told me to double it and to do as much as I could. But the margins weren't good, and he knew that. And I was afraid to leverage it further. I didn't follow that advice. And Parsons did follow his own advice, and it worked out well for him. Now, other people I assumed were qualified, I followed them. And I put in people that I thought were the right people, and they were wrong. And that was my mistake because I didn't measure it as good as I should have. I didn't measure it like Bob Parsons told me to measure it. Now, it wasn't that I wouldn't listen. I had it backwards. I ignored the people who knew and followed the people who didn't. All through this, I am struggling, right? And trying to figure out my way. I'm up and down. And I never wrote down a specific number. I had no benchmark for 70 or 80 or 90 for my future. I always saw another deal coming. I'm a today guy, and I've never been a tomorrow guy. I'll figure this out. And sometimes you don't figure it out. And so it's the same thing at 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. You can be sitting in the same position I'm in, or you can start acting like what a 30-year-old should act like and start saving, start putting it away. I never did that. And I've never had that answer. I never had those benchmarks, not one. If you ask me what 70 looks like, I think I already know. You get up, you make your bed, change your sheets if they need to be, you brush your teeth, shower, you hit the computer, and you figure out the day. The same day I had at 50. At 50, it looks like drive. Now it looks like cost. The day never changed. What changed is what it means. So 70, the guy doing the 70 video, that's my today. That's the whole problem. And I see the guys doing the 70 video at 40 years old on YouTube, and that's their problem too. We need to figure it out, and we don't have it figured out. None of these people were smarter than me. They just measured. They put things away. I didn't. They even offered to help me to do that. The guys sitting at my table, they were like, hey, we want to sit down and show you a plan. And I didn't want to sit down and do the plan. I wanted to do my plan. They wanted to show me, and I wanted to do it my way. So age was never the mechanism. I was here at 50, and you don't find that out on a birthday. You're already in it. The details you're not looking at is the one doing it. And if you ask me what secure looks like, a number, a date, anything, I don't have it. I've never written it down.